What is up, producer gang? If you guys just want to skip right to the making of the beat, then just use the chapters section below. We're going to be making a Sofaygo Type beat because it seems to be pretty popular online these days, and I just wanted to share with you guys my process of how I'd go through and make that kind of a beat to post and hopefully sell on BeatStars or on YouTube. So let's just jump right into it and I'll show you guys kind of my process. So first things first, whenever I'm making any kind of type beat, I usually just look up the artist and a couple of their newest hits and songs. For example, Sofaygo, I hope I'm saying that right, by the way. Sofaygo, as far as I'm familiar with him, he's got a pretty upbeat, sort of happy vibe to his music with a little bit of like tension or mystery. I've gone through and I've listened to Knock Knock and Let's Lose Our Minds, and I've kind of blended those two vibes into this track that I made. Here's our beat, so I'll just play it for you. He likes to typically open with, 8 bars of like, in the songs that I listen to, piano or whatever, and then just go right into the beats. And here's the hook ski. So just a slight variation of the intro and the beat. Typically Sofaygo beats, they're usually between like 130 and 140 BPM. I always start off with making a chord progression. Basically, I've adjusted a lot of the velocity to give it more of a natural feel, so it's not just like a stab every time. So then moving on from that, I've trimmed the fat, so to speak, and made this kind of like shorter piano note hold at a lower velocity for the main beat, which obviously you can hear that. Just to give the beat some dynamic change. And then I added this serum patch, which I have this little sound here. If I solo that. And I felt like that just added kind of a happy note, something to remember in the beat. So here's the patch for that. It's super simple, just a square wave. I've adjusted the attack decay release so that it's more of a pluck. And those are the effects that I've chucked on it. Just a reverb filter, which gives it that really nice kind of in a small room vibe. And then heaps of distortion and a bit of reverb. And that's pretty much it. Super simple little sound that we have here. And then the sub, basically just following the notes in the chord progression, and I've used Sublab for that, which I really love. And yeah, basically you go through Sublab, you can pick your preset as I have here, and then I've just adjusted it to sound like kind of what I want it to in the beat. I made subs in Serum, that's not an issue for me, like that's fun too, but right now I'm messing around with Sublabs and I'm really liking it. So just to hear what that sounds like on its own. Yeah, and obviously here you can adjust like your release and all that for your tone sub or your subtone. The only thing with Sublab is that I think, how do I put this? I feel like when you add the lower harmonics, which is this here, the X sub, it clashes with all the other waves, and you do have phase cancellation. I've heard that when I've tried to make my own subs and stuff in here, and I'm not sure if that's something that the creators of this are aware of, or if there's a fix for it, or maybe I'm just not using the right setting. But yeah, if you have this, I'd say be very careful with adding X sub unless it's on its own, because I do think that it causes phase cancellation. So that's kind of the meat and potatoes of the beat. Obviously I have my drum section here, so I have a clap that I've made, my kick, some hats. I believe this hat is actually out of the Lex Luger pack. I've made my own hats too, but this hat just fit into the beat and I've just pitched it a little bit. Here's one of my own hats that I used. Trap snare that I made. As you can see, that all sort of comes together. Oh, now that I've showed you all that, I'll show you my mixer channels here. Let's start with the kick. So what I've done here is basically routed the kick and the clap to the kick snare bus, which goes out directly to the pre-master, and then that goes out to my master. On the pre-master, all I have here is a soft clipper. So I've adjusted the gain for loudness, and then I've given it a soft clip. And then that goes directly into the master. There's nothing on the master. The pre-master is pretty much my master. All I have here is an exoscope. Just shows me what my waveform looks like so that I know that it's nice and full. I have some sidechain channels set up here. So I'll route all my sounds that I want to sidechain to a clap and a kick through both. And then obviously I have the individual ones and then the full bus for that sidechain. So if I want to add an effect like a tape stop, I'll add it there. Everything else is super simple. My sub, since it's already being limited within Sub Labs, I've just put a saturator on here. For example, just boosted it a little bit. It'll decrease the threshold just to the tone and the sound that I like. Again, kick I've made in a previous file, so there's not much on that because it's already compressed and it's already been made to taste the way I want. So all I've added here is a saturator just to bring up the volume of the kick, because when I save them, I usually save them pre-limiter so that I can boost them in the songs that I use. And the keys, super simple. Again, all these effects I've just used to create this layer in the hook. And that's pretty much all that those effects that you see here were used for. And now I have it off, and I'm just routing it to this channel so that I can change the filtering at the beginning of the track and whatnot. And then of course I have my own effects that I made years ago that I just added in here, and some of them are going to sidechain, some of them are going, for example, this top end hat that I've made, I'm compressing, distorting it with my kick just to give the kick a little bit of top end. And that's pretty much it. This is a riser that I've made, just added some basic EQing and some reverb to that just to make it fit a little bit better in the mix. And that's basically it, and that's what you get. Artists tend to prefer really basic skeletal bones beats. They don't necessarily go for these really ridiculous tracked out, fleshed out production masterpieces. They just kind of go over a really simple beat so that their vocals can shine. That's totally understandable. So you don't have to go nuts. Of course, you gotta have your own tag. So I've made a few, but this is my main tag. Yo, Mac, this shit lit. Yeah, just like recorded it on this microphone because it's all I have at the moment, since I'm kind of living in Australia and I can't really commit to buying a whole bunch of really expensive gear because I might be moving at any point in time. That's what I have to use, so then I just process it when I chuck it in the beat and it sounds fine. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this breakdown. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. I'm pretty active and I would love to get back to you guys on that. If there's any other beats that you would like me to make or walk through, then please drop a comment, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to do that. And take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.